happy and grateful that you really find this valuable enough to give me your time and to just be here with me today. And I hope that you're having a blessed day. And I just want to make sure that you could obviously hear me clearly, see me clearly, so that we could start at exactly 2 p.m. Florida time. So at 2 p.m. Florida time, I'm going to start the presentation. What I'm going to go through today with you is, number one, how to grow your mindset. Because before you can really completely change your life, 10x, 100x, whatever it is, wherever you are now in your business, before you could do that, you really have to start thinking differently. I'm not going to teach you what to think. I'm going to hopefully give you a skill set on how to think, right? Because how to think is much more valuable than what to think. So growing your mindset is extremely important. Then we're going to be focused on growing your actions. What should you be doing every day in your business? Who should you be connecting with every day in your business? How can you attract the highest quality people that may actually be interested and be able to pay for what it is that you do? And all of those income producing activities. So grow your mindset, grow your actions. The next thing is growing your visibility, because it's impossible for you to change your life and to gain access to people and opportunities and just life-changing things without anyone being able to hear you, without anyone being able to see you or even know you exist. And I just want to preface this by saying that I know that so many of us when we think entrepreneur, we're thinking about big tech entrepreneurs, like the 0.001% people like Zuckerberg that started Facebook, right? Or, like the founders of Airbnb or whatever, right? But the reality is that those unicorns, so to speak, are actually the minority of what entrepreneurs really represent. And when you look at the majority of who entrepreneurs are, they are people like me. They're people like you. They're people just like us. They're small business entrepreneurs that are more likely to build their business online or on Main Street rather than Silicon Valley. They're people that may not have access to the type of networks and wealth that more of the tech entrepreneurs may be privy to, just because of the families that they were born into and things like that, or maybe because of the connections and the alumni that they have been connected with in school. And so for people like me and you, it's extremely important, right, for us to get access to those people, to get access to potential mentors, to get access to potential investors, to get access to community that could steer us in the right direction, save us a lot of time, save us a lot of, failure, potential failure, right? And just support us in the everyday of entrepreneurship, not just on these events where we dress fancy and say we're entrepreneurs and accept awards or whatever, right? So I think that that's extremely important to also preface here is, the visibility. So growing your mindset, growing your actions, growing your visibility. And then we're going to talk about growing community and growing your sales. And it is 2:02. So I'm going to begin the presentation right now. You'll see me in a little bubble on the top right. And once we're finished with the presentation, it'll be about 45 minutes to 60 minutes. As we go through that, I really want you to write down all of your questions, all the questions that you have about mindset, your business, personal brand, because I'm going to answer your questions live at the end of the presentation. And we're also going to have some guest speakers to come on here and share their story, how they changed their life, how they became self-made millionaires, so on and so forth. So get ready, because, fasten your seatbelts because it's going to be fun. We're going to start the presentation, but just make sure, note that I will be answering your questions, your personal questions live in a very personalized fashion for your business. And that's my favorite part. So let's start learning, right? Okay. So 3 secrets. You can see this, correct? Before I go through the whole presentation, and nobody can see it. You could see this. Just put yes before I keep going. That's hilarious. Okay. I'm waiting for the yes. Okay, perfect. Awesome. Yeah, because knowing me, I would go through the whole presentation and then like I'd look at the chat after and people would be like, I can't see it or I can't hear it or whatever. So 3 secrets to grow a $1 million mindset and personal brand. Obviously, the disclaimer is that results will vary based on your level of commitment. And this is probably different than any other personal brand presentation you've ever seen or you've ever given your time to. My promise to you, like I just mentioned, is that we'll have a live question and answer session at the end where I will answer your questions at the end of the masterclass. This is not for you. So this is not for you if you're a person who just wants to build a transactional business and who never wants to actually make an impact and change lives. This is perfect for you if you want to grow your mindset, if you want to learn to become a better person today who compared to who you were yesterday every single day, right? So you want to learn what you need to do to not just be a better business owner or entrepreneur, but to be a better person, to be a better parent, to be a better business partner, to be maybe the change maker in people's lives where you actually become a mentor to many, many people that also go on and change people's lives. So if you're that type of person and you're interested in actually making an impact, then this presentation is perfect for you. If you want to start keeping the promises that you make to yourself, because what's life and what integrity do we have if we can't even keep the promises that we make to ourselves? And if you want to position yourself as an authority in your industry by growing your visibility, then this is for you. This is also perfect for you if you want to elevate your credibility. So if you want, when people search for you, very credible things come up and they just have this automatic kind of respect for you before they even get on the phone with you, right? If you want more income to provide for your family, you know, let's go beyond just putting food on the table, or let's go beyond just being able to pay our bills or whatever. Let's actually get on the right track to building generational wealth for our family. So if you want more income, you want more influence, you want more impact, you're in the right place. And if you want to create a global impact from home, potentially in your pajamas. Now, I'm not wearing a pajama shirt, obviously, but I don't know. I may be wearing pajama pants. You never know it. I won't reveal that, but that's up to you to decide. If you want to join a community of real life small business entrepreneurs or grow your own online community, and community is so important. We're going to get into that. It could potentially not just change your business, but it could help you create new products. It could help you just elevate your perspective. It could accelerate collaboration and doors opening for you and get you to where you want to go at a much faster rate. And if you want to sell 10 to 100 times more with a lot less effort and it just feel good and feel natural, then this is definitely for you. Okay. So what you'll learn so that you could earn more, you have to learn to earn. Just remember that. Again, mindset, how to maximize what you already have, who you already know, the skills that you have, which is very, very important. A lot of people, they think they need to learn new skills to make money online. That's not the case. We will teach you how to leverage the skills that you already have. So you're going to maximize what you already have instead of feeling like a fish out of water to get to where you want to go. Obviously, how to strategically connect with people who can become mentors, business partners, referring partners, and you never even know, maybe lifelong friends. You want to grow your visibility. So to do that, you have to gain serious clarity in who you need to reach. This is a big, big thing that we'll talk about shortly. You have to learn how to create content that your prospects cannot ignore and that they actually want to engage with, right? And to make an impact, to help people to sell, you need attention. That's the thing. You need attention from the right people, or, nothing good is possible without first getting someone's attention. You being with your life partner or whoever you're with right now, right? That was impossible without you getting their attention. And so beautiful things can happen when we get the right people's attention. So you want to build community. So how to build a highly engaged social media audience, because what's the point of building your numbers if you're also not getting engaged with them? How to get them off of social media to build your email list, the value of that, and to build a private community where they can interact with you, where it's not just commenting on your stuff, but where they actually have real time interaction with you. And building a relational business rather than a transactional business. And obviously making more money, because with more money, you can do more things, you could help more people. And I'll share a story. One of my friends recently, someone in their family, okay, they were on vacation in an island, in a Caribbean island, and this person got very, very, very ill. Okay, it was their mother, got very, very, very ill with COVID. Now, the island that they were on did not really have the resources to treat her to, the standards that she needed to be treated with, because her life was on the line. And so this person had to shell out, had to spend over $30,000 on a helicopter, to rescue her, to get her out of there and to bring her to a more modern hospital with the care that she needed, so on and so forth. And that's the thing, is you never know when an emergency will strike. And that's the beauty of having money, is that you're able to provide for your family, not just on the day-to-day, right? Not just food, not just your home, not just this, not just your own stuff, but it's also being able to do things for people when lives are on the line. And obviously, none of us want things like that to happen, but the reality of life is that they do. And imagine if that person had not had money, right? How would they have felt? You're in a hopeless situation when your mother's life is on the line. And so I just want to clarify the power and the goodness of money, because a lot of us are taught from very young age that, money isn't good, and it absolutely is. So the more money that you have, the more you can also share with your family, your friends, and the more you could leverage that money for charity and making a positive impact in your community. And your business can change your life, right? If you invest the right amount of time and activities into your business, it will reap rewards that you probably have never even imagined so far, okay? So here's why this presentation, this masterclass, is different. So you don't need paid advertising. I'm not going to touch on that. This is all going to be organic, okay? You don't need to cold call. You don't need to pitch in the DMs or cold email or any of that stuff, because for me, that's the old way of selling, and it feels icky and it never feels natural. I like people. I like attraction marketing. I like to uplift people. I want people to want to work with me. I don't want to press them. And there's a lot of psychological factors that we're going to go into when they feel like they're in control instead of them being pressed. So why this is important to you right now, right? It's easier than ever to become what I call a virtual millionaire by doing what it is that you love, through turning your service into a digital product. Right now, your competitor, you can't control your competitor. And right now, they're probably doing everything they can to outmarket, outsell, and outperform you. So the more that you fail to make the decisions that you need to, the more you fail to grow, the more danger you put yourself in, whether you realize it or not. And the last thing that you want to do as markets change and as your competitors continue to grow is not be prepared for something like that, okay? Your personal brand could be your security and your key to financial freedom if you leverage it correctly. So a little bit about me for those who don't know, just very, very quickly, because I want to get to the good stuff, is I have over 1 million followers on LinkedIn, and I've done that in little short of 3 years. It'll be 3 years in December. So top 100 business podcast called Growthpreneurs. You can check it out. And also just my personal brand has allowed me the ability to get the right people's attention, where I've been featured in Entrepreneur Magazine, Board Panda, etc. This is a recent article in Entrepreneur Magazine, and it was like a 20-minute interview. This person just he knew me from LinkedIn, but he also just went into my Clubhouse rooms, resonated with what I was saying, and provided me with the opportunity. So this isn't like some PR thing where I had to pay like $5,000 to get some press. No, this is organic. Okay. It's also allowed me the ability to, interview people and gain access to people like Grant Cardone, John Lee, Myron Golden. I know Patrick Bet-David is having his vault thing this weekend, him as well, and just so many others, including billionaire Naveen Jain. And this all began, I haven't always been an entrepreneur, but for me, my daughter is really the one who I can credit to helping me become an entrepreneur out of really necessity. So in July 2018, I'm working 9 to 5. Just imagine, I'm working 9 to 5, barely making ends meet, have my young daughter in daycare. So she has to be there all day so I could go to work, right? Because I'm a single mom. And then, so she gets sick at the daycare. She gets the flu, but it like turns really bad and I had to take her to the hospital. I didn't expect any of this to happen. I'm just thinking it's a regular flu. We'll be out by the morning because I had to take her, late at night. And it didn't turn out to be a regular flu. It was like some weird strain of the influenza. She needed a spinal tap, which is pretty difficult to watch a baby get a spinal tap. And she ended up staying in the hospital for 14 days with this fever that like wouldn't go down. So by the 12th day, my then boss is giving me an ultimatum. Didn't even have the decency to call, just text me one night saying, hey, you need to get back to the office by tomorrow or, you lose your job. And so I never returned to that job. There's no way that I was going to return to that job. But in that moment, I really decided, I was like, I never want someone to have this much control over where my life goes again. Like, I want to have control over whether I succeed or whether I fail, whether I can be here with my daughter in the hospital or whether I need to go home or whatever. It was like disgusting to me that someone would put me in that position. And so I left and I didn't have any savings. It was a very back against the wall, burning all boats position to be in. And so even beginning that night, I grabbed my laptop and I started obsessing, right, over like, how can I make money online with the skills that I have? And at this particular job, I did copywriting and like some marketing stuff. So I knew it was possible because I had heard of friends and I see online people are making some type of money online. So I just became obsessed with it. And I was able to replace my then full-time income within 5 weeks. But I was doing that the old way, right? So I have to admit, it was taking a lot of energy. I had to send 100 messages, right? Just for 1 or 2 people to reply. I had to kind of like push them to get just on the phone call with me. So then I could kind of showcase how I could offer my services and things like that. Then it would be like always on the fence. Then I would have to follow up for weeks. And the thing is that they weren't my perfect prospects to begin with. So long story short, it was like a lot of work and very little results. And that's when I knew that to get better results in my business, like I had to do something new. I had to try something new. And you really have to look at your situation all the time, right? It's not just one time. You have to audit your situation, I'd say weekly or monthly. And if you're stuck, then you have to do something new. And when I looked at it, when I really just faced the music, I realized that I had 3 super big problems. No one knew who the heck I was. No one trusted me because they didn't know me. And because of that, when I tried to sell them, no one was buying from me. And because of that, even though I had a few freelance clients, I was still really struggling to make ends meet. And so I started to like look at people who had success, right? Who started from the bottom like me and really achieved a phenomenal level of success. People like Tony Robbins, Oprah, and Grant Cardone. And what I realized is like they got to where they were by being in their zone of genius. And the more people that they helped along the way, the more they were seen, the more they shared their story and things, the more money they made. That was like the recurring theme. And then I started to ask, but how the heck did they even get the opportunity to help people, right? How did people even say, yes, I'm interested in what it is that you do, or yes, I want to hear your story or whatever. And I realized that people knew who they were because they showed up online. I knew who they were because they showed up online. And I had, during that time, just recently heard about Grant Cardone because I saw a video of his on the internet. So the second thing is that obviously people liked and respected them because they were courageous enough to be vulnerable and share their story. And people would buy their stuff because they trusted them, right? So I needed to start showing up on video. Like, I made a decision. Okay, if this worked for them and I'm not doing this and I'm struggling still, right? I need to start showing up on video to see if it works. I need to start being vulnerable enough to share my story, and I need to start being consistent so that I can earn people's trust. So that's when I stepped out of my own comfort zone. I raised my standards and I made a decision that my situation, right, was not going to define my future. I wanted more for my daughter. I wanted more for myself. I didn't want to feel like I wasn't doing everything that I could to provide the best possible life for her. But I knew that if I wanted to get more out of life, if I wanted to make more money, I needed to do more. I needed to give more to people, and I needed to become more. And that's really how my journey started. So I call this my $2.4 million decision. That's when I started to create video. This is the first screenshot of the first video I ever did. And all I did was say, hey, my name is Shanae. It's pronounced Shanae. Like, I was super nervous. My hands were shaking in the video. I bought these like $8 headphones. The screen of the phone that I had at the time was cracked. But the thing is that I actually just got the courage one day to do it right outside of a Starbucks. The video quality sucked. And then guess what? The next day I did it again. The next day I shared a different story. And the next day I did it again. And I did it again. And I did it again. And I started to recognize some differences in my business. Within about 4 weeks, I immediately recognized the shift. They started to message me instead of me having to message them. Okay. So they started to reach out to me and say, hey, I'm interested in your marketing services, or, hey, what exactly do you do in marketing? Right. Because at the time I had a marketing agency. And then when I would get on the call with these people, they weren't like rude. They were actually happy to be on the phone with me. And then when I sent them a proposal, they didn't ghost me. They actually paid very quickly. And then when I worked with them, I actually enjoyed working with them. They weren't like a client that didn't really appreciate what I was doing for them. And when I saw that, I was like, okay, I'm the type of person that when I see those type of results, I'm going all in, like all in on this content thing. And as you could see in this chart, right, wasn't necessarily the easiest for me. In fact, when you look at the different analysis in this chart, it actually took me the longest compared to other LinkedIn creators and stuff, thought leaders on LinkedIn, influencers. It took me 122 posts to get one breakthrough, like based on the numbers and the visibility. For other people, it took 21 times, 24 times, 46 times. I was just more consistent over time. So like, you don't have to be, a genius or like special to do this. I was just more consistent and more committed. And I was seeing the results of my business. I went from charging like $50 for a blog, which was ridiculous, but I needed money and I needed to start somewhere, right? To getting my first client in January 2019 at a $5,000 retainer. And that client saw one of my videos and messaged me, very succinct message. He said, how much are your services? I got on the phone with him. I did one project at $1,000 for him. And I guess he had printed what I had done, what I had written, and he put it on his desk. And I guess the next day, the way that it happened, this is like half fate, half my efforts, right? His wife saw what I wrote and was like, hey, who wrote this? And then he was like, oh, this freelancer I did, she did one project for us, blah, blah, blah. And she said, put her on a retainer to him. And so that's how I got my first client at a $5,000 retainer. And we still continue to work with them to this day, and we do more consulting and higher level stuff. But that was the client that I was like, okay, I could really, really do this, right? And again, that was inbound. And you could do the same thing. But you just can't expect to like plant a seed today and expect a harvest tomorrow. Although it didn't happen overnight, it also didn't take forever. It only took a few weeks to really gain traction and for me to see the difference in the results in my business. But amazing, like big things, they do take time, right? And so you can see here, this is since, these are my charts since January 2019, okay? I've been able to, just with my iPhone, nothing fancy. I have no fancy camera. I have a $100 something microphone, no fancy anything. I've been able to generate more than 300 million views. Okay, just on LinkedIn. This isn't Instagram. This isn't also including YouTube. This is just LinkedIn. And I've been able to do that by what I'm going to teach you today. And as you can see, there's 2,483 posts. So a lot of this is also consistency. And the way that this calculator works, I've been able to generate a $2.4 million media value. So like, this is basically saying, had I had to gain this visibility, these type of results and stuff in paid advertising, I would have had to have shelled out $2.4 million. Okay. And then, of course, we've seen the results in the business. The more followers, the more visibility, the more engagement, the more revenue. It's the only thing that makes sense. And that's why I've gone all in. And it's not just about the money, right? So I've been able to meet amazing people. I've met my business partner, okay? This is Courtney's first message to me. Courtney is the co-founder of our first business, MedSnake Media, which was the healthcare marketing agency. And then she's a managing director now at Growth Academy. This is the first message ever, a screenshot that she sent to me. She said, I just wanted to tell you, love your posts. It's hard out here, but I'm growing. I'm succeeding and providing for my family. Thank you for reminding me, keep sipping, girl. I said, me too. I'm the sole provider of my 2-year-old. I feel you, but never forget to keep investing in yourself. That was our first conversation. And that led to building a business together, 2 of them. Okay. And meeting a mentor. I was introduced, right, by this person. This person just saw me, introduced me to Christopher Hummel, who became my first mentor. Okay. And that's how I started really learning how to become a millionaire, by gaining serious proximity to someone who is already a multimillionaire. This person just reached out. Hey, how are you? We spoke a while back. I connected with a large healthy lifestyle brand headquartered in Palm Beach, which is where I'm at, right? They're operating in all 50 states. I wanted to introduce you to their CEO and VP of sales. That meeting led to me meeting Christopher Hummel. That meeting led to me helping him grow to almost 1 million followers on LinkedIn today, but more than that, gaining his mentorship and him becoming my mentor. Okay. And getting the ability to be on top podcasts like Hala Taha's Young and Profiting podcast. She gets over like 100,000 downloads a month on her podcast. So things like this, right? So it's not just about making more income. It's about having more impact and more doors and opportunity opening for you. And obviously, gaining certain positioning. People say, oh, followers don't matter. They do. Okay, that's a lie. They do matter. If they didn't matter, I wouldn't have executives from top companies like IBM calling me every week saying, hey, I wrote a book, right? I want to deal with the big 5, but they won't sign me unless I have a following like Adam Grant. They won't sign me unless I have a following of 100,000 followers on LinkedIn. Now, you may be asking yourself, why is that? That's vanity metrics. Actually, it's not. It's just an equation. If they have 100,000 followers, the publishing company knows that there's some type of community there. There's some type of warm sales just sitting there, right? And they don't have to market and position this person as a thought leader as much, meaning they don't have to invest that much in their marketing as they would someone who wrote a great book and may be a great leader in their industry, but may not have the visibility in the community of someone with 100,000 followers. And so when people say followers don't matter, that's a lie. Okay. If followers didn't matter, it wouldn't affect whether leaders wanted to connect with you or not. This is an example straight from yesterday's screenshot. CEO of Logitech sent me a connection request. Okay. Positioning matters. Positioning does half of the work for you already before you even have a one-on-one conversation or DM or Zoom meetup with the person. Okay. That's just how it is in 2021. So in fact, positioning is what also led me to create Growth Academy at a demand. So in March 2020, as we all know, everything took a very unexpected turn with COVID. And at that time, I had about 500,000 followers and again, my marketing agency. But with my marketing agency, I was only serving bigger businesses. They had to give me a retainer of thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars a month, right? But what happened was that when COVID hit, a lot of small business entrepreneurs individually, right, started to reach out to me. People that had until then neglected their social media presence completely, they reached out and they were asking for help. They were asking, hey, do you have a program? Do you have this? Do you have that? And I didn't, because I was just helping businesses until then. But after like the 200th message, I sat down with Courtney and I was like, hey, something needs to happen because we need to help people. And I made 2 promises to my community. I said, hey, I would show up for them every single day, right? Throughout the pandemic, no matter what, even if it was an apocalypse and we were all going to just be wiped out by a meteor or something together, I would still show up for them through the darkness every single day. And the reason was I knew this was important because I knew that under the pressures of COVID, a lot of other people were probably, one of the first things that they were going to probably drop was their social media content. Because, you know, when you get stressed, that's just what happens. So I knew that it was my opportunity to show up. And I did. And these are just some screenshots, you know, random people that were just thanking me for showing up and giving them inspiration and hope during a difficult time, right? Look, our world needs more people like you. Thank you for all the inspirational posts. You are a much needed bright spot in all of this craziness going on. You know, actually you inspired me a lot and gave me the faith that the best is yet to come. A lot of people were getting laid off and they didn't know where to turn and they needed visibility and they also needed inspiration and hope. And so I provided that for them. The second thing, the promise that I've made to my community is that I would create a small business lifesaver growth system. Think of us like a life raft, right? Or a lifesaver. And I think that this is especially important to point out because everyone can be a great leader when, you know, the skies are shining. Everyone's a great sailor when the seas are calm. But the people that really care about people are the ones, in my opinion, that can lead you through chaos and that can lead you through a storm, the sailor that can save your life, right? You know, in tumultuous seas like this. And that's a big difference between, I would say, a good leader and an exceptional leader. So we became that. That was my promise, that I was going to become sort of a small business lifesaver during this pandemic. For small business entrepreneurs to not only survive, right, the pandemic, get them online, get them, you know, to survive so that their business didn't fall, but to get breakthroughs, right, and actually grow in a virtual world. Because for me, every small business entrepreneur starts their business with a dream, just like I have, and I want to see them achieve their dreams. So I got to work. And the first thing that I did was I started to do research, and what I discovered truly in all reality disgusted me. What I found out was that like people were literally paying $5,000 or more for coaching programs that left them to figure it out all by themselves. And these coaching programs and quote unquote courses were giving them outdated information. You know, when you're talking about online and social media, information changes every day. So if you created something, you know, 5 years ago and have never updated it, how is it still relevant to people? How can it still help people? And the answer is that it can't. So they were also doing this in a really boring way with no live interactive training or feedback on how to actually improve in their personal circumstance, which also made no sense to me. The ultimate thing that I was completely lost on was that they also lacked a peer community, right? For people to network, to collaborate, to maybe do business together and build lifelong friendships. Could you imagine, like, this was fathomable to me, like a reputable institution, let's say like Harvard or Yale. You go there, you pay, you learn, and they tell you you cannot have any interaction with any of your alumni or student peers. That makes zero sense. So I decided to change that, right? Because how are you supposed to take outdated info and actually make money on the internet? And it just doesn't work. That's why people are completely sick of things that don't work for them. And that's why a lot of the courses and stuff don't work for people. Maybe you've bought courses and they haven't worked for you. So this is why I created what I call the growth system that flips the script and changes everything so you don't have to fall into that trap ever again. And at Growth Academy, we're saving businesses, saving families, one entrepreneur at a time. So let's get started. And we're doing this again without any paid ads. You don't have to cold call. You don't have to get funding. But if you want it, you can strategically connect with someone, who could provide you with that. So let's get started. Right now, whether you realize it or not, you are in your comfort zone. And our brains are designed to keep us in our comfort zone because our comfort zone is technically, it could be called like safe zone, right? And that's what our brains are designed to do. Your comfort zone is a worse addiction than heroin or anything else. So a lot of the times we are addicted to our comfort zone because our brain is engineered to tell us to stay safe, okay? So this is your comfort zone, also known as flatline or just plain old stuck. And this is where you are right now, whether you realize it or not. This is where we are at any given point in our businesses, whether we realize it or not. We always have two decisions to make. You can do nothing. You can say, hey, I'm fine making $5,000 or $10,000 a month. This is where I'm going to stay. But the thing is that you can't control what changes. You can't control the competitors, right? You can't control disruptors that maybe make what you do irrelevant, right? You can't control market changes. And so if you do nothing, if you don't continue to improve your skills and continue to watch for things and be a forward thinker, then you're just putting your business at risk to potentially become the 90% that fail within the first 5 years. The second choice is up here in this green part. Now, this is what happens if you choose to grow. But to do that, you have to learn new skills, take new action, and surround yourself with new people that will hold you accountable to get the new results that you set. And that's what we're going to talk about today, because that's what being a growthpreneur is. So you have two choices, grow or else. Are you ready to learn the growth system? Again, we're going to break it down. First, mindset, then actions, visibility, community, and sales. So let's go. This is the good part. Grow your mindset. You have to start thinking and acting like a millionaire before becoming a millionaire. And I'll just repeat this one more time. You must start thinking, seeing situations, connecting with people, acting like a millionaire before you become a millionaire. So how can you start thinking like a millionaire? First of all, you must believe that you could actually become one. And it's completely possible for you. I don't care if you were born into a not so wealthy family, 80% of millionaires are self-made, okay? Most of them were not born with a spoon in their mouth. And although it has been the pandemic in this last year and things have been difficult for us on the whole with health and stuff, over 5 million millionaires were created last year, more than ever in 1 year, right? And there's more millionaires than ever today. So yes, you can become a millionaire. And with the internet, you don't need a Harvard degree. You don't need to have gone to Yale. You don't need to have been born into a rich family to become a millionaire. All you need is to reach the right people online and be able to help them get what they want. Okay. So really get that into your brain that it's possible for you. If it's possible for me, a single mom who was on welfare less than 3 years ago, it's possible for you. You want to change, I need to make 1 million to I need to help 1 million people, or I need to reach 1 million people. Because when you focus on the money, you're focusing on the secondary result of you just being effective at what it is you're going to do. And being effective, to be effective, you need the opportunity to be effective. So to actually get results, you need to serve people. So it's all coming down to the people you reach and the people that give you the opportunity for you to serve them. Okay, your future clients. And you don't need money to make money. You don't need a lot of money to make money. When I was growing up, people used to tell me, oh, you need like $100,000, you need $10,000 at least to start your business, blah, blah, blah. You don't. All you need is to really listen to people, pick one problem that you want to solve with the skills that you have, right? Create an amazing offer and get one person to say yes. Now with a mentor, maybe this takes you a month. Maybe without one, it takes you 6 months. But the bottom line is you don't need a lot of money to make money. You can start to act like a millionaire now, in this moment. So you have to make a networking and lifestyle. Learn from and build relationships with other millionaires. Get as close to them as you can. And don't do it in a way where you're constantly taking. You want to think of a way to give value. And I'll share one story with you to demonstrate how valuable this is. So a lot of you know Patrick Bet-David, right? The CEO of Valuetainment. He's big on YouTube. I think he has like 2 million subscribers there. If you don't, that's a great kind of creator influencer to follow. When he was completely broke, he wanted the mentorship of this one millionaire, but he didn't have the $30,000 to enter his mastermind program. So what he did was the guy told him, okay, well, just meet me once a month. So he would meet him once a month and he would take him to lunch. So that was the first thing, is that he was paying for the lunch, and he would always leave his mentor a book. And then he would always ask him this question: how can I help you? How can I help you? At the end of all of their meetings, okay? The guy, for a long time, the mentor said, I don't need your help. Just, calm down. I don't need your help. I'll tell you when I need your help. 6 months go by, okay? And then the mentor says, I need your help. And of course he sprung up. He's like, this is my opportunity to help him, right? And to really show him that I'm valuable and all this stuff. And so the guy says, he's like, how can I help you? Yes, of course, whatever. He didn't even tell him how. He just said yes. And the guy says, okay, my son a while ago did something terrible and he's in federal prison. And I need someone to go with me to visit him. And I don't want to tell my colleagues, because obviously he doesn't want his very wealthy colleagues to go into a maximum federal prison with him. So he was like, okay, he's like, are you sure you want to help me? Because you have to submit your license and a background check and all this stuff. He said, I'm going to go with you. I'm going to help you. So he goes with him and he spends the whole day, right, with his son in federal prison. And they leave. And he goes, wow, I can't believe you really went with me today. This is amazing. I really see you as a friend. And he's like, of course, anything, you've taught me a lot. I've been able to build a little, whatever. So then the mentor goes, you know what? Because of what you did today, I'm going to give you my phone book. Boom. It's like a list of 6,000 contacts. And he said, you have the permission to call anyone on this list and to use my name. He's like, wow, really? And he's like, yes. So he starts calling everyone on the list, everyone on the list, everyone on the list. One of the people on the list led to his breakthrough deal, a $10 million deal in Florida. That was his breakthrough trajectory, tipping point. And now his business is, I think, worth over 100 million. So that his patience and his kind of approach to saying, how can I help you, to that successful person versus saying, hey, I need you to mentor me, you know what I mean, is really what got him that phone book, and his ability to really seize the opportunity when it came. So through that story, you learn a lot of how to start acting like a millionaire before actually becoming one. You also want to be humble, always be learning, right? Understand that you're not the best until you get paid the most. You want to put yourself in the best position to meet and serve others. Okay. In 2021, that means that you have to be online and you have to start investing and taking your online presence seriously. Okay. Because this online thing isn't going anywhere. Especially, we don't know what's going on with the Delta variant and all of these things. Okay. And you have to recognize that trust is the ultimate currency. It's not just about who knows you and who you know. It's also about who trusts you. So let's start to set goals like a millionaire. What goals are you setting in your life and in your business? First, let's look at what $1 million really looks like. It's just selling $1,000 thing, right, to 84 people every single month. So if you get to $84,000 a month, technically you're making $1 million a year, a little bit more. It's selling $500 product or thing. Let's just think of it as a thing now, right? To 168 people every single month. Or it's selling a $250 product to 336 people. Okay, so anyone can sell a $1,000 thing to 84 people every single month, or maybe a $500 thing to 168 people, especially when you have all these tools at your disposal. Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, Clubhouse, with millions and millions and millions and millions of people. But this is only possible if you get in front of the right people, okay? So really think about it, and you may want to write this down or maybe take a screenshot of these questions, whatever you want to do. But think about and decide, how much money do you want to make this month, okay? How much do you sell your product for? Let's say it's $1,000. How many people would need to buy that product for you to hit the $84,000 point every single month? How many prospects would you need to talk to? And how many people would you need to reach? So this is an example. I want to make, so that if you have a piece of paper, you can write down whatever. I want to make $84,000 in September. That means if I sell my product for $1,000, I need 84 people to buy it, right? And then you need to talk to maybe 252 people, because maybe you close 1 out of 3 people that you talk to. So then it'd be 252 people and then reaching 10 or 25,000 people. Again, the number of people that you talk to may change. So as you get better, maybe you start to close 1 out of every 2 people instead of 1 out of every 3 or 4 or 5. And so you will have to adjust the percentages and the numbers, and that's going to be different for everybody. But the first couple of numbers, you just want to know your goals, because if you don't know where you're going, you're not going to get there. If you have a $1,000 product and you need to sell it to 84 people a month, like I said, you have to do the math. How many people do you need to talk to? So if you close 1 out of every 3, that would be 252. Okay. But maybe you close 1 out of every 2, or maybe 1 out of every 4. You got to do the math. So how many people need to see you every single month for 252 people? Let's just say you close 1 out of every 3 to actually get on a Zoom or a phone call with you, or go to your website, right? And let's say that number is 10,000 people. Let's just say for kind of the average, let's just say 10,000 people need to see your stuff online every single month. That's not a lot of people, trust me. The next question is, what content can you create for 10,000 people to see you, right? Like, how are you going to get their attention? This is where you're going to grow your actions. This is very, very, very important. So the bum and the billionaire have the same 24 hours in a day. And it's true. Bums and billionaires have the same time. You and me have the same time every single day. The greatest equalizers of life are currently now time, where we have the same 24 hours in a day, and the internet, where you don't need a Harvard degree anymore to really make an impact, build your network, build your business, so on and so forth. So the question really becomes, what are you doing with the 24 hours that you have? You must begin to use your time to understand who you're trying to reach, because it's all about people, right? So who your prospects are. Your prospects are people that can buy, right? That are high quality, where they're spending their time online, and what they need and want to learn so that you can get their attention. Not just get it, but also keep it. So who is your prospect? You have to think about it. They can pay for whatever it is that you sell, okay? They're genuinely interested in what it is that you sell. they have the ability to decide on whether they want to buy now. And usually when you think about it, think of your best client. Like close your eyes, think of your best client, whoever that may be. Your prospect is usually very similar to your best client. And your best client is a person that has paid you the most amount of money with the least amount of resistance. It's the person that's paid you the most amount of money with the smile on their face. Like they want to work with you. They're happy to pay you, right? And so think about how that person identifies themselves on social media. What's their age, right? Who are they? Are they married? You have to recognize the right person. Sometimes we think our prospect is not who they actually are. Like I was on this coaching call with a client and she's telling me my avatar, because everyone tells you to create an avatar. She's telling me her avatar is 30 years old, an eco-conscious female that drinks healthy drinks and eats quinoa, doesn't have kids, makes $100,000 a year, whatever. When I look at her numbers, I'm like, this has nothing to do with your prospect. Like your best clients are over 55, they're married, and they're the ones that are not just repeat buying your stuff, but they're buying the most. They're also sharing it with their friends and they're engaging with your brand. And when she saw it, she's like, oh my gosh, like that's right. So sometimes our prospects are not who we necessarily think they are. And so your numbers and sales will reveal who your prospect really is. You have to strategically connect with more people that are like your best clients, right? So how do your best clients, how do they identify themselves on social media? For us, a lot of our best clients identify as founders, CEOs, coaches. But for this example, I'll just use founder and CEO. And then you have to think about, where did they originally find you? Was it LinkedIn? Was it Facebook? Whatever. Like I've talked to another person. She's telling me like 90% of her clients have found her through TikTok, right? But she's spending 90% of her social media time on Instagram that has resulted in 0 clients for her. And I'm like, you need to go in on TikTok. Like focus on where the sales are coming from, right? Find and strategically connect with more people like them on those platforms. And obviously you want to engage with them because there's a way where people like them can start seeing your content, okay? And I'm going to teach you. So on LinkedIn, let's say, I'm looking for more founders and CEOs, right? So I'll put it in the search bar, founder and CEO. Let's say I'll put it in the United States and they'll come up on a list, very simple. Then what I'll do is I'll go onto their page and I'll click follow, right? I'm not going to pitch them. I'm not going to even ask them for their request, right? The request to connect. I'm just going to follow them. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at their recent activity and see if they're even active on the platform, what it is that they do, what it is that they engage with. Like I want to see their personality, right? And obviously this person has a company page. So I'm also going to follow their company page and I'm going to engage in their most recent post, right? And you see my comment down there. Why am I doing this? This is very, 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 very important. I'm doing this because when I do that for people that fit the bill for who my highest quality prospect is, the algorithm is more likely to, number one, show me more of their content. So now the algorithm is like, whoa, you're engaging with this person. I'm going to show you more of their content, right? So the next time they post, it's a greater likelihood that I see their posts and then I can engage with them on the regular. Also, they're more likely to see my content. And if you learn how to create content that really appeals to your prospects, then that's your in. This is why engagement is so important, because it's natural. It creates almost like a synchronicity to people working with you, okay? Also, giving is receiving. This is the rule of reciprocity. People are more likely to engage if you engage with them. Also, the algorithm likes you to engage, right? Because you're keeping people on the platform. And so the algorithm is going to favor you as well. When you uplift people in the comments, they'll also visit your profile. So right now, he probably has no idea who I am, right? He sees this comment that actually fits in with what it is that the post is about. And maybe out of curiosity, he'll visit my profile and he'll see my positioning on LinkedIn, send me a connection request or whatever, then start to engage with my content. And then those interactions start to compound and build up, right? They go, they maybe see who you are, and now they feel like they're in control, right? If they want to work with you, they reach out. They want to connect with you, they reach out, so on and so forth, rather than you always having to press and push. It makes it more natural. Same thing with Instagram. You could see like, what are the top hashtags that like your clients use on Instagram? One of those for us is business coach. So I just put in business coach. I start engaging with a lot of the people that use that same hashtag, right? And this is an example. And then very shortly after, this woman followed me. Now she's engaging with my content, and you never know what will happen after that. So engage to get engagement. These are things that you want to do every single week. And again, maybe you want to take a screenshot, whatever, but you want to add 100 prospects to your network each week. That's why knowing who they are, where they are is very important. You want to engage with them by commenting on their posts. You also want to have content that will pique their interest and help them with their challenges. And we're going to get into that right now. And then invite them into your community and serve by selling. Okay. Selling is service, and you actually want to help them. So where do they spend their time, right? Where should you spend your time? So you want to spend time only on the social media platforms that are producing the most results for you. Doesn't matter if it's the least popular, right? Doesn't matter if it's the one you like the least. Like, there's some people that hate TikTok, but they're getting results on TikTok. So I tell them, just, keep growing. And obviously what you're doing is working, and this platform really resonates with you and whatever. So regardless of it being your favorite, the most popular, and you really got to think of your highest quality prospects like hippos. Like, you're not going to get a hippo to get out of the water and to come to you like so far. You have to make it serendipitous, but like, you have to go to them, right? And engage with them naturally. Go where they are. Buying is an experience that begins the second that your prospect discovers who you are. So people think that buying is an experience that begins when somebody takes out their credit card. It begins way before that. And you really have to do what's best for your prospect, and showing up is best for them. We're about to, get into that. So to create content, right? The first part really is like, what do they need? You have to understand this before you start creating content. So what do they need and what do they want? Nobody does this, which is why a lot of their content, they spend so many hours and effort, and they're getting little engagement. And then more than that, they're getting very little inbound leads, and their sales aren't really budging, even though they're spending time on social media. So just talk to your best clients, right? Talk to your prospects, get on a Zoom with them. Even if you're just starting and you need to do like 15 to 20 minute free consultation calls where you're just asking them questions, giving them advice, whatever. You want this because of the value of the data and stuff that it's going to give you. Because you could say, hey, I'm going to offer 3 people 15-minute consultations, but I need to record the Zoom for training purposes and stuff like that. A lot of the people are going to be fine with that. So what you can do is you could do that and then connect otter.ai. And that's going to give you a transcript, right? When you look at the transcript of the Zoom call with your prospect or your best client, I'm giving you $1 million tip, by the way. You're going to look at the language that they're using. And then your content, what you say in your videos, how you market, blah, 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 to attract more of those type of people needs to match how they talk. And you're going to know how they talk because of Otter. Look at this next slide. So this is like just a conversation, right? Of our first meeting in Growthpreneurs. And then I noticed that like one of the top words used 14 times was visibility. People need visibility, right? So this person says in this sentence, so I hope like all of you to basically be more visible, create content that's valuable for them. So these entrepreneurs need to become more visible to create content that's valuable for who they're trying to attract, right? And so just off of that line, I could have a whole campaign, be more visible, create better content for them. That's gonna get their attention. It's gonna be like, oh my gosh, that's how I feel. That's how I talk to myself. That's how I naturally talk. And so a lot of people miss out on the power of actually talking to your prospects. Okay. Be more visible, create better content for them. I'm using language that I'm learning from them. You don't know it all. You think you know your prospects. If you do, you're arrogant, because they're constantly changing. Things are constantly changing. They're not the same person at 8 a.m. than they are at 3 p.m., right? At 8 a.m., I'm in like mommy mode, like pajamas, whatever. At 3 p.m., I'm in like woman entrepreneur power mode, right? Like I'm not feeling the same. The same messages are not going to appeal to me. And so when you get really like advanced, you could even break it down by hour. And that's how well you need to know your prospects. Okay. So what do they need and what do they want? Another way that you could discover this is listen to the relevant clubhouse rooms, right? Go in there. Like, let's say your prospects are coaches, right? There's like so many clubhouse rooms that are like marketing for life coaches, or like life coaches, get together and network or whatever. You want to go into that room and just listen to what it is that they talk about. What are the recurring challenges that they're having and that they're sharing? What are they experiencing? And you definitely want to take note of questions that keep repeating, because then you can answer those questions in your content and obviously attract them. And you want to look at their recent activity, like I did in the example that I showed with the founder CEO. See what they're posting, see what they're commenting on, because that shows their personality. And that it's just like, if you ever were to message them, then it would never be cold, right? Because they'll be like, oh, this person, comments on my stuff, or this person comments on stuff that I comment on all the time. And it's not just like a random person. So how do you actually get and keep their attention? This is absolutely important. Without this, you won't have a business. You have to grow your visibility. And the bottom line is that when you look at the data, visibility is in video. Okay, people love video. You may hate to create videos, but people love videos. They love to learn on video. And can you blame them? There's a lot of weird stuff that goes on the internet, and video lets me see that someone's real. Like, hearing you on Clubhouse is great, but like, if you're on Clubhouse and I only hear your voice, then I click on your Instagram and I don't see any videos, it's like just like weird images. I'm already questioning, like, are you a real person? Are you the person that you say you are, right? I mean, you never know if it's just voice. Also, our brains process a lot of what we feel and think about somebody. A lot of the language is nonverbal. So there's a lot of language right now in this bubble that you're seeing in my face and my hand movements, and that like you just couldn't pick up from video. So that's why people love video. That's why TikTok is booming. That's why Instagram just announced that it's no longer a picture app, and that it's moving very, very aggressive, all in on video. And it's just the bottom line. People are giving more of their time engaging with video. And so I ask you, if you're an entrepreneur that tells me I really care about my prospects, then why aren't you showing up on video every day? Why aren't you like showing up where they need you most, where they're most likely to engage with you, where they're most likely to connect with you, see that you're a real person, resonate with your story of why you even started your business, so on and so forth. So how do you even build trust with video? Number one, you don't pretend you're someone that you're not. You're just be authentic. You don't have to be perfect. And that's the bottom line. In fact, when you try all that stuff, people are so sick of like influencers trying to be perfect. That's really why I stood out on LinkedIn from the beginning, because everyone was like showing up like, hello, everyone. I'm a professional, like just always in a blazer, always in a staged environment. And I was very much like I am right now. And guess what? If I went to a meeting in a blazer, I would be in a suit. But I'm not in a suit every day. So why would I pretend to be? Right? So be your authentic self. Your prospects are not perfect. So if you try to be perfect, you'll separate yourself from them instead of building a close connection. You want to be honest. If you don't like certain things in your industry, then speak out about them. Have an opinion. Your prospects have two basic needs. They need certainty, and you provide them with certainty, right, by being consistent. And they also need uncertainty. These are two human needs. You provide them with uncertainty by being entertaining, by changing your environment, by showing up in different kinds of videos, by collaborating with different people and things like that. If you're always in the same place at the same time saying the same stuff, it's going to be boring and they're not going to watch it. Because that's the thing that people don't like to say about content, is that at the end of the day, you can have the best content in the world, but if you're boring, no one's going to listen to you, right? If you're boring, no one's going to read your stuff. If you're boring, no one's going to listen to your voice. If you're boring, no one's going to watch you. And so what you say is as important as how you say it. And again, if you want to get their attention, you have to start to take your business seriously and really decide to show up for them and get better every single day. So how do you stop someone's scroll, right? The first 3 to 7 seconds are critical to grabbing their attention, which you need for them to actually know you exist and to maybe follow you and then buy from you once they trust you. You must speak to something they can emotionally resonate with. How you say something matters just as much as what you say, and you should strive to make the person watching you feel joy, right? What you write with your video matters. So this is an example of pattern interrupt, like I'm interrupting what they expect. And that's something, how you get people's attention is you do the opposite of maybe what they expect. So maybe they're scrolling LinkedIn, they expect a super boring post about analytics, whatever. And I'm asking them a weird question. Have you heard about the bird that couldn't fly? Right? And they're like, what? And then they listen out of curiosity. And it's all about basically getting out of your comfort zone. Another example of pattern interrupt. Why I love Mondays dropped on a Monday. Most people hate Mondays. So again, they may be at work, they may be in their business. They're not feeling the most energetic. And then they see a post from some person outside in the sun that's smiling and saying why she loves Mondays. And it's because I get the opportunity to work with amazing people. I now own a business and all of these things, and it gets attention. It's genuine, but it also is different than what they expect. Okay. Another example of pattern interrupt from Member Growth Academy, Jay. This video actually went super viral. CEO of LinkedIn commented on it and everything. So he gets on there and says, nobody would hire me. Like, who says that? That's vulnerable. Then he shows a very vulnerable story holding his daughter. It hit the heartstrings. And that's the best, honestly, if you listen to anything in this presentation, the best marketing advice, marketing strategy that I could possibly ever give you is to win hearts. When you win someone's heart, you will get their attention, you will keep their attention, and they will really, really, really be connected to you and your brand. Powerful transformations, right? Because how you show up on video is just as important as what you say. So obviously, you know, this Growth Academy member is much more vibrant and confident on the right than she is on the left. On the left, she looks kind of awkward. She doesn't look comfortable. If you don't look comfortable, if you don't look confident, people are not going to gravitate towards you. And I could prove the power of confidence right now. If all of us were lost at sea right now and we were just thrown in the water, all of us would gravitate towards the person that we deem and we see as most confident swimmer in that water. We're going to follow them. We're going to follow their instructions. If they tell us to breaststroke or whatever, I'm going to listen. Because if I'm not the most confident or the best swimmer in that situation, my life is on the line. And so it just makes sense. Same thing with your business. If your prospects feel like you could guide them to safety, if you could bring them what they really need in their situation, if you could solve their problems, they're going to gravitate towards you. Okay. But how can they feel that if you don't even show up confidently? Same thing if they don't see your face or even know you're a real person. So this is a great transformation. I mean, you see like articles that are very valuable, whatever, but they just have blobs, and you know, anyone can make that graphic on Canva, to actually showing up, smiling, showing enthusiasm for what she does, sharing stories, and showing that she's a real person. Another thing with YouTube, right? So Zen was getting like no views on YouTube, to now collaborating with people, not just focusing on selling, actually doing interviews that are valuable and stuff. Now she gets 1,000, you know, like 1.3, 2.6, 3 point whatever thousand views on her YouTube, and she was about to quit. In fact, she shared her story here that she went from 0 views, right, to over 60,000 in a month just by changing her strategy. You also have to think about why your prospects would say no. This is critical. And if you actually talk about it, you'll get their attention because you are helping them. So think about why they would say no. Most business owners, they overpromise and underdeliver. Most of your audience will have objections. But if you address them head on and honestly, you will show up like nobody else and you'll sell more with less effort. Okay, so write down all of the objections or all of the things that you don't even particularly like about your own industry, and then start to really address them head on, because nobody else is probably doing that. So where do you post these videos? I would say post it on your most profitable platform to date, but do not neglect LinkedIn, okay? There's big benefits in LinkedIn when it comes to credibility, searchability, and verifying who you are, especially if you catch the attention of someone who also takes LinkedIn seriously. When you Google your name, LinkedIn is likely to be one of the first things that pop up. So if you don't at least have a polished LinkedIn, then it's like, it looks weird. Most millionaires and billionaires spend most of their social media time on LinkedIn. It's a platform full of decision makers. As you saw yesterday, the CEO of Logitech just sent me a connection request. Where else do you get like leaders in every industry just reaching out, right? They're there and they're spending time there. It's easy to leverage LinkedIn to build your email list, which is extremely important for your business. The number one predictor of profitability in any online business is your email list, and we'll get to that. And it's one of the only platforms that still has massive organic reach. If you don't believe me, just go to Gary Vee's he's always talking about LinkedIn and TikTok and now Clubhouse. So you don't believe me, just search Gary Vee LinkedIn and he'll tell you himself, okay? How exactly do you leverage video, right, to gain your prospects' trust faster than ever before? You can't tell someone you're important to me. Like, I can't tell you, hey, you're important to me, but then I'll never show up for you. I'll never share stuff that will actually help you. And I'm inconsistent. Like, literally the foundations of trust is consistency. So consistency creates trust. This is why it's important to post more than once a week or more than 3 times a week. Because if you post once a week, it'll take you about a year to be seen 72 times. And when we've analyzed the data, that's like the amount of interactions. Now, not 72 videos. Maybe they see a video, maybe they see a story, maybe they send you a message. That's already 3. But you need about 72 touches, okay? If you post 3 times a week, then you're doing 6 months to maybe be seen 72 times. 7 times a week, you're already going to gain results in under 90 days. So this is why I say that consistency is extremely important to accelerate trust. And if you want to do 2 times a day, right, then it'll be about 5 weeks before you see a big change. And if you're consistent for about 30 days with video on LinkedIn, the chances of you getting approved for LinkedIn Live are tremendous, and it'll happen like this. Here's just some of our students who 3 weeks in are already approved. So you want to grow your community, right? What is the value of community? If you bring like-minded people together, beautiful things happen. People can do business with each other, learn from each other. They can become friends, business partners, refer business to each other. They can invite each other on their own podcasts and shows and collaborate. But more than that, they could also find mentorship, right? People who may be ahead of them, right, may be open to mentoring them. And it's hard to find a mentor these days. So joining a community where people are open to mentoring you is priceless. You can never be as valuable to who you serve. So you can never be as valuable to your prospects or your clients alone than you could be with your community, just because they could learn all of these things. And you only have your experience. You don't have the experience of the collective, okay? So here's how I'm going to teach you the secret sauce of how you can start building community. If you've heard of Clubhouse, it's like an audio app, but you could also use Facebook audio rooms. There's so many other apps these days, and LinkedIn will launch audio soon. So let's say you want them to hear your voice, because again, selling is an experience that begins way before they buy, okay? So they hear your voice in a Clubhouse room. Then they go to they click on your face. So they're seeing an image, but they don't really know if you look like your profile picture, because some people don't. So then they get onto your Instagram and they see that you're a real person. Like they're like, oh, okay, this is a real person. And they see some short videos of you sharing some relevant stuff to them. Then in the video, they may hear you say, or they may see in the writing like, hey, if you'd like to join my private community, just click this link here. That will send them to an email page, right? Like a landing page, very simple, one video and a couple lines with a button. Anyone can do that. And you're sharing more of your story in a more longer video. So that could be like a 5-minute video. And then it just has the name and the email address. Once they give you that, they'll get the link to your private community. That's how we've built up over 500 people on Telegram in just a couple months, right? And then they could start interacting with people, connecting with people, asking questions, sharing their stuff for support and stuff like that. And then obviously you've also been able to grow your email list, which, as I mentioned before, is super, super important. So just want to touch on this before we get into one or two more things here. So the interaction, right? Me being able to text you and you being able to actually message me back is completely different than you being kind of gated on social media. Now I feel close to you. Now I feel like I'm your friend, right? And that's powerful, okay? So choose a platform to build community that's easiest, not for you. Everything has to be easiest for them. So if the large majority of your prospects love Facebook, then do a Facebook group. If they're Latinos and they love WhatsApp, do a WhatsApp group. Whatever is best for them, build your community on that platform. Invite people who engage on social media into your community. So if you see that someone's like constantly engaging, but maybe they haven't joined, you may just want to reach out and say, hey, I'd love to invite you to be a member of the community, blah, blah, blah. It's free. Here's the link. Create exclusive content for them and make them feel special. Help them answer their questions and give 10 to 100 times more than anyone else out there. You want to build like a family that's going to support you and that you're going to support. So what's the value of this is one of the greatest ones is that you're also growing your email list. So email, Kajabi, which is a big company, they analyzed 16,000 online businesses, okay? And they found that email is the #1 predictor of profitability for any online business. It's not the number of clients, the number of purchases, the price of the purchase, it's email. You do not own your followers, right? So I don't own my 1 million followers on LinkedIn, but I do own my email list. And so you want to think of that. You never know what could happen and you want to build your list. And on average, right, if you're using advertising, then they say that one email is about $1 per month of revenue. So if you have 10,000 people's emails, you should be making at least $10,000 a month. But that's with paid advertising. Again, that's more like of a push. You're in their face, you're selling, and they feel it from the get-go. With inbound, what we have found is that one email is actually $4 per month, right? So if you have an email list of 5,000 people, you should be making $20,000 a month. Okay, so it's a smaller list, but again, they came to you, they trust you, you're building a community, and so it's more revenue. It's a higher quality list, I would say. And it helps you grow your sales. So let's talk about sales, right? That's very, very important. You can't change your life without money, and you cannot sell without a certain level of confidence and a certain mindset, okay? So to grow your sales, you have to stop building a business where you're constantly trading your time for money. This is the absolute greatest mistake that coaches and consultants make. They get into high-ticket consulting, high-ticket coaching, and I know, because guess what? They contact me to get them out of what I call the coaching consulting cage. They're getting paid great money, but they have no time. And now they wish that they had, something, a product, a digital product, a course, a membership that could start to replace the big money that they're making in consulting, but while they sleep, so that they can regain part of their life back and get some of their time back and not be in back-to-back Zoom calls and meetings from 8 o'clock in the morning to 8 o'clock at night, okay? You can do this by converting your service or your most profitable, scalable skill set into a digital product, whether that's an ebook, a course, a membership, is up to you. but something that doesn't require you to give your time for money. The first thing, right, is identifying what that skill set is. And again, you don't have to learn new skills. We're going to maximize what you have. We're going to look at the skills that you're using every single day that you can monetize right now. And I'll use someone else as an example, okay? Shara Ruffin, one of our best students, best members, right? She's a social worker. So she has amazing skills. And after passing her exam, other social workers started to ask her, hey, how did you pass that exam? Because it's really hard, right? She shared her story on LinkedIn. She grew her community. They started to ask her. And after so many people started to ask her, right, she started to be like, wow, I could really help people pass this exam. So she started to help others and turned it into a business. And now she has too many clients, right? She has new problems. And that's what people say I give them. I give them new problems. So now she has too many clients, right? So she is turning her process into a digital product that will not require her one-on-one coaching for her students to get results, okay? And if we see here, she posted this last night. Moment of transparency. Born to 2 teenage parents in West Philadelphia. Became the first to graduate from college. Became the first to get a master's degree. Now I get to break another generational family trend. Becoming an entrepreneur and using my passion to help my colleagues build the dream they want and giving them the tools to achieve the results, which was from my own story of struggle. In July 2021, I made my first $10,000 a month ever. I was broke last March on food stamps, negative bank account, 3 children at home, couldn't pass my LCSW exam. Now, my income has tripled to $25K a month, and I'm now going to be opening up branding clubhouse rooms to show my fellow social workers how they can use these gifts to build the dreams that they deserve. Thank you, Shanae Murray, for believing in me and giving me the tools to give my son the life he deserves. This is only the beginning. The student becomes the teacher. I will be a light to my colleagues the way you have been to me, Shanae. Believe that your life and everything that happens to you is for a reason. Whether painful or pleasant, it all will lead to where you should be. And then she shows, right, the screenshot. So 10,000 this month, I think 16,000, right? 16,800. And she's just getting started. This is just a few months into her actual business. And now she's going to scale through digital product. This is absolutely amazing. This is a mother who, again, was on food stamps, okay, a year ago. Now, guess what? It's not just about the money. She has less stress and she can be a better mom. So how to grow your sales, right? We're going to finish with auditing, right, what you already exist. And we're about 10, 15 minutes from the Q&A, so I hope you have your questions. You want to audit what's already out there, like what competitors are out there? What are their products? How can you make yours better? You want to break down the growth process, but more than anything, you want to understand that price is not a number. It is an experience. And then you want to make more offers. And I'll prove that price is not a number right now. If I gave you $500,000, I don't know how much this Apple car is going to be, but let's just say I gave you $500,000. And I said, go buy the Apple car. This is apparently what it's going to look like. Pre-order it, whatever. And it's just amazing. Like you feel amazing. Like you see the videos, maybe you sit in the first model of the car and, you know, when you get it, you pull up to your house or you drive around and it just feels like ultimate freedom, right? And it's like hundreds of thousands of dollars or whatever price it's going to be, but it feels amazing. Then let's say I give you $1 or $2, right? Let's say I give you $2 and I say, go to the vending machine. And then the vending machine not only steals your money, but like maybe gives you also like half of the chips hanging off of the thing, or maybe it just gives you the wrong chips. That $1 to $2 experience is now going to piss you off. It is going to make you unhappy, right? So again, it's not about price being a number. It's about pricing whatever you do to be an experience that they feel amazing, that they feel like they're getting 10 to 100 times more than what they pay. That's really what I call the number one pricing growth rule. Always give 10 to 100 times more value than what you ask for. If your product is $500, you must always be ready to provide your client with $5,000 experience or value or product, whatever. If your product is $1,000, then it better be between $10,000 and $100,000, right? You don't want them to ever feel like they paid way more than what they got, because then they'll never become a lifetime client. So make more offers. If you truly believe in what you sell, you're going to do your prospects a tremendous disservice by not giving them the chance to buy what it is that you sell. If I told you, hey, if you had the key to make someone's life better, right? If I gave you the secret key and I said, whoever you give this key to, their life will get better. Wouldn't you share it with people? Like, wouldn't you start sharing that you had the key? Like, hey, I have this key. I can make your life better. You'd probably start sharing it. If you don't, right? This is something that I had to learn. Like, if you don't share what you have, someone else will share what they have. And you can't control whether your competitor or that other person or whatever will take care of your future clients the way that you will. So maybe because you kept your mouth closed, you didn't tell them what you had to offer. Now someone else tells them, and then maybe that person scams them, or maybe that person delivers 1% of the value that you would have delivered for that same price. So you have to protect your future clients by actually making them the offer and giving them the ability to transform their life. When you care about your future clients, you will proudly share what you have that can help them. So make more offers. This is how you can start making more money without even improving your skills. Let's say you have a $1,000 product. If you make 10 offers a week, and let's say you get one yes, that would be $1,000 a week, just from you making 10 offers to 10 people. What if you made 20 offers, right? And you would get 2 yeses instead of the one, and you could start making $2,000 a week. So sometimes just sharing what you do with more people is the key to doubling your income in a very short amount of time. Be proud of what you sell. Make the offer the ultimate experience, and always do what is best for your future clients. What they get, and I'll say this a million times, what they get needs to be 10 to 100 times more than what they give. So here are the questions that you have to break down whenever you're making an offer. These are the questions that should be, your content needs to do most of this work before they even get to the point of maybe wanting to buy. That's why trust and content is so important. So you need to constantly be, telling people in your content and just things like that, how is this different from everything else? So how is what you sell different from everything else that they've spent money on, everything else that they've tried, everything else that has failed them? You need to know that answer just for your business as a business owner. What's in it for them, right? Because they're going to think, what's in it for me? So you have to have a clear idea, right? And a clear list of what exactly is in it for my future client. Okay. How do they know that you're real and that this is even real, right? What is holding them back from buying? A lot of the times they were jaded by somebody else, or maybe they just don't know, right, about what it is that you have to sell. So you have to think about what could be holding them back. Maybe they have to get approval from their partner, talk it out with their partner. And in that case, maybe you could do a video, speaking directly to the partner to clarify, what the investment is, whatever. Why should they trust you, right? How does it work? How can they get started today? And what do they have to lose if they don't get started? These are all of the questions that you should be answering and have very clear answers for in your offer formula, and that you should just know as a business owner to begin with. So right now, we're going to experience this offer formula live by the offer that I have for you, the new opportunity that I have for you that we've created. And I've created this alongside consultants and people that are worth 9 figures, okay? This is what I call growthpreneurs. It's a brand new 8-week coaching program that provides you with the personalized business coaching, the community, and the accountability that you need to grow your mindset, to find and connect with your perfect prospects on social media, to create videos with just your iPhone, no fancy equipment, that will actually get engagement and get you seen by your perfect prospects. Because many people, maybe including you, they have amazing talents, they have amazing experience, they have an amazing skill that could potentially help so many people, but nobody knows who they are. They're invisible. And so we need to get you seen, and we need to get you seen by the right people. Get you seen by more people, get you more views, more followers, more engagement, and ultimately more sales with less stress, right? You're going to get more sales with less effort and have less stress in your life so that you could spend more time, because it's all about time, with the people you love most. I can tell you this. Every single millionaire values time more than money, because, and that's every single millionaire and billionaire values time more than money, because at the end of the day, we only have one life and we can't buy back time. So more time with the people that you love most. We're going to teach you how to build a community where you can become a leader and build priceless relationships. And you're going to build a digital product that you can sell that does not require your time, so that you can get out of that coaching and consulting cage and regain your life back. Wouldn't that be nice, right? And become 10 to 100 times more valuable and more confident than you are now in just 58 days. You're going to learn how to build authority, create a loyal following, gain the recognition you deserve, gain more confidence, and sell more than ever without selling, just by sharing value, right? In 58 days, then this is for you. This is how we're going to break it down, the 8 weeks. The first week, we focus on mindset and habits of a virtual millionaire. The second week, we help you do this live. Identify your most profitable skill. Then the 3rd to 5th week, the creation of your digital product. Should it be an e-course, an ebook, a membership? How would it align with your current business, so on and so forth? What is best for your prospects? Those are the questions that we're going to answer. The 6th week, we're going to be building community and your email list. The 7th, pre-launch, launch, and sales. And the 8th, teaching you how to turn clients into super fans, because it's not just about getting a client once. It's about keeping a client, getting lifetime clients, and having clients that will be your ambassadors. So what's the price? My last 8-week mastermind like this was an advanced mastermind, and it sold out at $2,000 a student. The one before that sold out at about $4,800 a student. This experience, live experience, where you get over 16 meetings, 16 hours of live coaching, is equally as valuable, but far more affordable. You can enroll now for just $497. You can enroll now for just $497. That's how affordable it is. But it actually gets better. When you enroll now during this masterclass, you will also get a 30-minute one-on-one coaching call with our team. This usually costs more than this program, and you are getting this for free. And you'll see the button. I believe it's a blue button, but you definitely should see a counter and a button right now where you could just click and join and become a growthpreneur. So how exactly will this work? The first thing, once you join, you'll immediately get an email, right? So you get an email with a live link to our growthpreneur quiz. This will tell us where you are in your business, where you want to be in 60 days, and how it is that we can get you there. So once you join, you'll get an email with an interactive quiz of 40 plus questions. All of these questions are strategically placed because we really do need to know where you are in your business, what you're doing, what's producing the most income, things like that. This will help us clearly understand, again, where you are, where you want to be, and how we can get you there in the least amount of time with the least amount of effort leveraging the skills that you have. Okay, and this is an example of what it looks like. So you'll see the first little thing is, this is the first step in your journey to becoming a growthpreneur. You ready to change your life? How you answer the following questions will help us determine your growthpreneur score. And then you start answering the questions. It's very, very interactive. Then you'll get a one-on-one coaching session, right? So before actually starting the program, you'll get a one-on-one coaching session where you're going to review your growthpreneur score with someone on our team. You're going to get a personalized 30-day growth action plan. We're going to help you identify who your prospects are and the best way to reach them on social media, and what exactly your digital products should focus on and how to sell it in the fastest way possible. Then, like I said, it's an 8-week live group coaching experience. So this isn't something where you get some portal videos that are old. We meet every Tuesday and Thursday for 8 weeks at 11 a.m. And our next cohort starts on Tuesday, September 7th. But we also have an October group and a January group. So when you join today, you lock in on this phenomenal offer, but you have a choice. Do you want to join on the one starting on Tuesday? Do you want to join October, or do you want to join January? And obviously we keep these groups tight knit, and there's a limited spots available. So in these group coaching meetings, we're going to only give you current and relevant information, and it's interactive. So it's not something where you're just going to watch me do a presentation. No, we do exercises. You're going to go into breakout rooms with other people in your group, get feedback from not just me, but other trainers, your peers. It's very, very interactive. It's not something where you just show up and watch a Zoom and it's boring. You get involved. This is a screenshot of the first meeting of August group. So your community, right? You're also going to gain access when you join Growthpreneurs today to a community. And this is without price. This is literally priceless. You're going to gain access to a diverse community of entrepreneurs, get feedback and new perspective. So you get the kind of advice in our chat that you'd never find in online courses, or that you'd have to really pay thousands of dollars for. You're going to collaborate with creative entrepreneurs in the community, because many of them have their own live shows. They have top podcasts. They have their own, obviously, their own businesses that are growing, and they in their own right are increasing their influence and becoming thought leaders. So you never know like who you could connect with. You're also going to get the accountability you need to show up for your business every single day, because I know that it's not easy to show up every day. And we're going to we have notifications, we have daily assignments, and it's fun. And if you don't feel like showing up, that's fine. But we're going to hold you accountable for the goals that you set in your coaching call. Entrepreneurship, I know, can feel very lonely, but it doesn't have to be. That's the point. So this is just a screenshot of, the August chats, chat, and they're just interacting with each other. This is truly like an everyday community. This isn't something like a dead Facebook group where you just log in and download a PDF. Like, no, we're chatting with each other throughout the day, answering each other's questions. And you really need to ask yourself, what if you could tap into the experience of more than 500 entrepreneurs, which is in our big group, right? And even the ones in your group, some of which are 7, 8, and even 9-figure earners, okay? You can meet your next business partner, podcast co-host, and even mentor. And really, you're just one connection, one deal, one opportunity away from a different life. And when you join right now, you'll also get daily video scripts for 58 days. So you're not going to feel lost. This alone has a value of $9.97, and you're getting it completely free. So as you see here, this was for August 10th, and it had instructions because we want you to post daily and we want it to be easy for you. So it says, take today's video in a different environment than the last few videos, right? Maybe on a morning walk or standing by a tree. Talk about one thing that you do to treat your clients better than anyone else in your industry, and why you take so much pride in doing so, and how doing so leads to better relationships with your clients. Then you'll see an example of what that video looks like. So you'll get a daily video script for 58 days. You'll also get personalized feedback as you're building your digital product. Like this was feedback that was received by a student, right, for her intro video for the digital product. And one of the things was that the plant in the background was dying, right? So obviously it would look better if there was a plant that wasn't dying. And so you would have to pay a lot of money for like individualized feedback. And we provide that for every single person that joins. So if you want to build authority, create community, gain massive trust, grow your business, and finally break out of your comfort zone in only 8 weeks, then you want to enroll now. And we still want to make it better. Like we really want you to invest in yourself and in your future. So we have the best guarantee ever. You could take the entire class. You could download everything. You could use it, increase your engagement, build a community, create your product, and make some sales. And if you don't like it and you decide, hey, it's not for me, then you just let us know and we'll provide you with a full refund. So it's literally zero risk to you. Super quick recap before we get into your live questions, and we have a couple guest speakers. So 8 weeks of Growthpreneurs coaching program. Trainings are every Tuesday and Thursday for this group. So every Tuesday and Thursday, that's about 2.5 hours of live training a week, okay? You're going to get your Growthpreneur quiz and then your score. It's a very interactive quiz. You want to take your time on it. Don't rush it. Then you're going to get a one-on-one coaching session where you will get a personalized growth action plan and you get access to a 9-figure private community. All for the price of $497 for all of this, which is absolutely incredible. And my team thinks that I'm insane. And this is why it's limited. This will not be this price for long, okay? You'll also get the best guarantee ever. Take the whole 58-day class, put everything to work. If you're not amazed, you keep it for free. But I forewarn you, right? This crazy discount ends when this masterclass is over, because we really value people who show up, who learn, who really take the time. So once this masterclass ends, the price will double. And definitely by the time that January gets here, the price will be going way up. So you're literally saving 3 years of time and thousands of dollars, because comparable programs are at least $5,000 or more. You want to get seen and recognized for what you do, then this is the channel to do so. And if you know in your heart that this is an excellent value, right, then I want you to just consider this hypothetical example. Let's say you join. Let's say you create a digital product. It could be a membership. It could be a course. It could be, an ebook, a very valuable ebook, or it could be, an audio file. Whatever we choose, or we really say, hey, it's best for you and the skills that you have. And in the next 8 weeks, you only make 2 sales. 2 sales at $500 is $1,000, and that's more than the cost of this program. So you'll already be in the positive. Plus, like I said, if you're not happy for any reason at all, you can keep it all for free. So you have 2 choices: stay in your comfort zone, do nothing, and do not take this leap of faith, which is 100% risk-free, or pay this small investment right now for your future compared to all the value that you'll get in return. So you want to click the link, right? Click the blue button in the chat, and we'll also drop it in the chat, by the way. But you should see the offer there with a countdown. All you have to do is click the button to join. We also have some guest speakers and things like that. But before I get to there, I just want to show you a video. So I'm going to play you a video, and then I'm going to invite the guest speakers, and then we're going to answer your questions. Okay. I just wanted you to obviously share your story before I get into the Q&A. My makeup is bleeding. But, tell people how you've done it. You're a source of inspiration, and you're someone who a year ago was in a very different position. So I just wanted you to be a source of inspiration for people, and they could ask questions as well.
Sure, very much so. So, hi everybody. My name is Shara. I'm a clinical social worker, and man, I've been with Shanae since the beginning. I think I'm like a dinosaur in reference to her when she started her program. So, I met Shanae a year ago, and at the time, I can tell you guys, I was sitting about 30,000 connections, and I was doing pretty good. And this lady, I was like, oh man, she's she's cool. Let me go check her out. And Shanae was at the time optimizing people's profiles. And I was like, okay, let me go ahead and see what I can do to optimize better. And I couldn't have told you from that one conversation I had with her. She sent me a voice note saying, hey, you need to be on video for 90 days. Your profile looks great. People don't trust you, so they need to see you. And I was like, 90 days of video. I don't do video. And
I remember that.
I'm like, I literally was like, I don't have time. I have kids in my house. And I was just it was mostly fear, you guys, that I get on video. Now I've been on video for about a year. I do video maybe 2 or 3 times a day. So my first video was talking about being uncomfortable.
Do videos to being like the video queen.
Yeah. So it's funny because man, if I wouldn't have did that, I don't know if I would be where I am now. But long story short, literally LinkedIn has turned into it's literally catapulted me into my business. So I didn't start out wanting to be an entrepreneur. I was a social worker. I was a therapist. I was getting burnt out and I was looking for another way out. There was a test I needed to take. It was called the clinical licensure. Now, this thing usually takes 2 years to get. It took me 10. So wow. I had people on LinkedIn. They had been following me for some time and I failed the exam in 2019. The pandemic hit, I got stuck. Mind you, I had already met Shanae. I was already doing videos. So people were actively watching this journey. Like this lady, she's showing up on LinkedIn all the time. She's got a do-rag on. She's got no makeup on. She's got kids in her videos. She's cooking. What is she doing? So people were getting more interested in me about talking about my life and mental health, but they were actively watching me do this. So I'm going through depression. Pandemic hits. 6-7 months. I'm like, I don't know what I'm going to do. I live in West Philadelphia. There's shooting going on. I have 3 kids at home. I'm in a negative bank account. I literally played video games for 6 months. That's how depressed I was because that license, when I failed and missed it by 2 points, mind you, I told 30,000 people at the time I was going to pass, y'all. And so when I failed, I got a lot of support saying, oh, you're going to pass it next time. So it was like watching the hero's journey. 6-7 months later, I get ready to take the exam again. And people are like, Cheerma, you're going to do this, you're going to do this. And then I passed. I told my story of how long it took me to pass. It was 93,000 views. That was the most viral post I ever had because I realized that people were really struggling.
Yeah, you were vulnerable. You were vulnerable.
Yeah, I really put out there. I even told people, I think like it was like May, June. I'm depressed, y'all. I'm drinking, day drinking. I can't pass. I'm playing Animal Crossing with my kids. I'm stuck and I'm literally drained my account. I have no money, none, zero. But I kept posting, I kept showing up and people follow that. They learned how to trust. Now, January pops on. Shanae says, I need you to get on Clubhouse. In the back of my mind, I'm like, this is just another thing I don't need to be on. And I got on there. I'm like, this is something else I have to learn. Got on there and I told my story to social workers. It was another social work cafe group. That's what they were called. Got on there and started just sharing that story of how long it took me. Didn't know that me getting on Clubhouse when Shanae told me to would turn into birthing my business. Had no idea that it's been 8 months. I'm at $26,000 per month
crazy.
Now. 26.
Hey.
My latest post that you saw, I just hit it. I hit it this morning. It's 26.
That's amazing. I'm so proud of you.
I can't tell you what she's been done for me. It's beyond disbelief of what I can actually tell you.
And now, like once you hit that, like even once you hit 10K, like you don't think you could do 10K until you do like 7, right? And then you're like, oh my gosh, I'm always there, right? Like if I told Shara a year ago you could do 50K a month, she'd probably be like, this lady's crazy.
This lady's crazy, exactly.
But now, once she's doing 26, 25, if I tell her that, then she just knows, okay, yeah, now is time to scale. Like, so for her, now she has so many clients that it's definitely time to like productize because you can't give one-on-one time to that many people. It's just impossible.
Yeah. I think the other thing, Charlie, you talked about was building community. So that's been the driving force behind what I do. So building that community on Clubhouse, I already had LinkedIn, but I have over 1,000 members that come to my group, but it's about 150 social workers every Monday. That's my funnel. For my business, people like show up and now I have people all over the country. Can you teach me how to pass? Can you teach me how to pass? Like that is incredible in terms of just showing up and getting people to trust you, giving value. And I do that consistently.
Well, the thing that like why your story resonates and like everyone needs to listen is because so many other programs, like they tell you, oh, you have to learn marketing, you have to learn a completely new skill. And that's not what I say, right? Like if Shara, right, is a master of what she does, like she passed that exam, which is extremely difficult to pass. Obviously, there's a need. Like once she passed it, people are like, hey, how did you pass? Can you help me? Blah, 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 right? And then it's like, all she has to do is lean into what she knows. Like all you have to do is leverage the skills that you already have to monetize and to build a business online. It's not about like learning all of these like fish out of water things that have nothing to do with like your zone of genius. And so that's really what you do.
Nothing about business. Like I know nothing. I am a social worker, guys. I don't know nothing about business, but I'm actively learning how to market and not knowing that I'm not only building a business, my personal story birthed that business organically.
Right, exactly. And that's the power of content and sharing and just, you know, connecting with people. Honestly, like none of that would have been possible had you not been vulnerable, because nobody would have known that you even passed the exam, right? And if they didn't know that you had passed the exam, they wouldn't have reached out and said, hey, can you help me pass it too? Like if you had just kept quiet and invisible, you would have just gone along your journey, and maybe one day you would have hit 100K a year, but social workers don't make this much.
No, they don't. I just talked to a friend that's in private practice, and it's funny because now I'm actually going to be teaching my colleagues how to do this, because one of the things we get caught up in, oh, I'm going to go into private practice. I told a lady, I was like, I make $26,000 a month. It's climbing. Now that changes every month. It's going up. And I said that the amount of money I'm making, you have to have one hell of a caseload and you have to be bound out. That's one-to-one. That's that one-to-one stuff.
Exactly.
And I said, I don't have to do that. She's like, what do you do? I was like, I use the skills that I have. We all have that ability. But
I listened to this crazy lady who told me to post.
Yes. Yeah, and told every day. And my first video, I'll never forget, was talking about how comfortable I was in leading into being uncomfortable. Because I was already a storyteller, it was very easy for me to get on camera and at least say and take one theme and be able to weave my personal story into that people could relate to. That I pretty much could do. But getting on video and then showing up, I've only had makeup on twice. Twice. I've showed up in do-rags, I've showed up cooking. Deep frying turkey on Thanksgiving. So it's not just about selling. You want to be able to get to a point where you're selling and not having to. People know you for you.
Yeah, exactly. It's about just being yourself, showing yourself in different environments, and
making Shanae hungry.
Yeah, I know. With her cooking skills, I'm like, oh my gosh, that looks amazing. So Surajit says, is Clubhouse globally accessed? I believe that it is now. I know that they're in most countries. I do have some ideas of some things I could do. You know, like honestly, people are asking in the comments, like, how do you identify the skill set? It's really just like, what are you doing now? Like we helped a CFO, a remote CFO, the same thing. She's doing like accounting and like, you know, all this stuff all day. And there's such a need for solopreneurs to understand how to even use QuickBooks. And so leveraging the skill that she knows, that's her zone of genius, to create a product, right, that she can monetize from, that people could buy while she sleeps without her having to like learn new things to sell, right? So it's really about connecting the skills that you have. That's why the quiz, we've designed it to help us identify that. And then that's why you will have the one-on-one coaching sessions. So we have clarifying questions and stuff. We can help you identify that. And then you may have more than one skill, but it's really about market demand and the scalability of that skill. You know what I mean?
Shanae, I have to like input there because she talks about this coaching case. I was like, I am there. Like my answer was like cracking up because he was listening to you in the back. I was like, yeah, I can't be at this computer no more. Because what I was doing is I was like, okay, I made $1,500. I made $2,500, and it's, you know, I'm able to scale that, but only to how much? I only have so much time. So there's one me. And now Shanae has taught me like, hey, you've got to scale what you can't scale one-on-one coaching. So now I'm at a point where people are like, hey, you're coming out with a digital product. Like, is that going to help us learn how to do this without me actually having to be there? I have other things I want to do. I don't want to be spending all my time in front of a computer. But to get to that point, I think has been amazing just to go through it.
Absolutely. So I mean, I don't see many questions. If you have, is this program only available in English? It's not currently available in Italian, but it is available in English and Spanish, and soon to be available in Chinese. And I feel like we've answered all the other questions. If you do have a question and you want me to answer your question live, then, you know, now's the time for you to definitely do that. Just type it in at the top, because I can't see it unless it goes to the top. And then I see I signed up yesterday into the quiz. How long until I get results? And no. So Debbie, if you joined yesterday, because yesterday was Friday, so you should get the results on Tuesday. So you'll get the results and stuff during office hours, because I know that you joined in the evening too. But congratulations. And you'll be getting, like, Tuesday morning, you'll get the results and where you get your one-on-one. Would this program work for a network marketing? Yeah, it could work for anything. As long as you need to reach people online, it's going to work. So can you give a couple examples of a few skills? So one example is Shara's ability to pass this exam, right? Another example is this woman who helps people with mindset. Like, she's a particular mindset coach for, like, spiritual people. Another one is the CFO, right? Remote CFO. Another one is marketing. There's a couple marketers that they've been able to build agencies, so now they help build agencies. Anything. It's literally, we have such a diversity. I mean, Shara, you know, like, there's Rob, who's a trainer. Like, I mean, we even have an auditor. So we even have an auditor who's leveraging his skill as an auditor. He has built a huge community of other auditors, and they're just buying his stuff left and right.
Gosh, it's just, Rob has done such an amazing job at finding his people. I can't, like, the people, like, a community that I have now, it doesn't matter what I do. They're like, okay, when you dropping this, when you did, I'm like, okay, it's coming. Like, I have that community to find your people. I think it's so important. And I wanted to really pick it because someone had a question about make 200 minimum for 2 months using 5 streams of income. This will be either a massive fail or a giant success. So I don't know if that was a question or not.
Yeah, I don't know.
But the one thing I did want to say.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead, Shara.
Is really quickly is find wherever your people live. That's where you go.
Exactly.
Whatever, double down on a platform that they're on. For me, it was LinkedIn, and I had already a big community there. And then I went from LinkedIn to Clubhouse, and of course, Twitter and Instagram are integrated. So then I was able to double on 5 different ones. So, you know, pick where your people live at. Who are you trying to reach? And for me, personally, it was really me trying to be the person that I wish I had when I was going through the journey.
Mm-hmm. And then example of a medical case, we've had nurses, you know, like there's there's nurses that maybe they're at an advanced level in their nursing career, and other nurses need help navigating, like, you know, how to get a better salary, right? Or how to whatever. They build products like that. There's also nurses who have exited, right? And then they help people exit, right? Because some people don't want to stay in healthcare forever. There's also nurses who are in the medium journey of their career and have new nurses like reaching out to them saying, hey, where should I work? How can I get the most salary at the first like job interview? How should I show up at the job interview and all that stuff? And so they've done a lot of that.
You got one. What's the difference between this and the 30-day video script program?
So, so this is Jesse. So Jesse, this is in a group. So what you're getting, Jesse, is more like personalized. You're getting one-on-one coaching with me. You know what I mean? Just one-on-one. And then this is in a group for 8 weeks and more like a community experience. And it's scripts, but it's not necessarily like, you know, for your particular thing. You know what I mean? We help them customize it, but it's hard to like show the templates. It's kind of like the one I showed in the presentation. If you want to meet more people and build a digital product, then join. The other one for you is more like personalized guidance with blowing up on LinkedIn.
You got a good one. If a person is shy, introvert, and not good at communicator, can
Oh
this
yeah,
really
I'm
work?
shy. I'm an introvert. People think I'm an extrovert. I'm not an extrovert. I'm an introvert.
I'm not either.
Yeah, you could, and trust me, like you won't. I'm not gonna say like we'll like push you too hard, but like I don't. Shara can explain. People in this community are very, there are a lot of other introverts, but like they've gained a lot of confidence by now, right? So it's like they will reach out to you and they'll be like, hey, like I really want to learn about what you do. And then they'll give you tips on whatever struggles you may be having because there's so many communities, right? Where they have like monthly events or quarterly events, but this is like the everyday community. Like entrepreneurship is like a battle that you have to go with your weapons every day, right? And like not every day is a great day where you feel on top of the world. So like people are even vulnerable enough to like say, hey, I had a bad day. Then you may have someone reach out and be like, how can I help you make your day better? Like what happened or whatever. And I don't know how you want to explain this, Shar. It's kind of like a real family.
Yeah, I can honestly say like I always say it's not like
see
those
you
growth
inside,
pods
man.
those growth pods. I've never met Shanae. I've never met Rob. A lot of the people that I've met, I feel like I know them because I talk to them almost every day. Mm-hmm. Through the back, we're always chatting, we're always talking and supporting each other. It's not like any other community I've ever been a part of where you're kind of like doing those little growth pod things where you're commenting on people's posts. You're really engaging and supporting each other. And I'm an introvert too, believe it or not, even with 40,000 followers, right? And I do. I don't like always talking to people, but I think when you hit someone's passion, that why you're doing what you're doing, you're passionate about it, that kind of supersedes, I think, being an extrovert. You're extrovert when you have to be, but
and I have power. To say, there's power in being an introvert. Don't get it twisted. Introverts, they're less like when you're selling, you're more likely to listen to someone. And there's power in listening to someone. There's power in observing them, seeing how they are online. There's power in making your clients shine, right? And you not necessarily needing that type of spotlight. And the only thing, though, that I feel like so many more introverts than extroverts keep themselves back is because, like, it's like, it's nerve-wracking. Like, you're shy sometimes. I'm still shy. Like, even with Clubhouse in the beginning, it felt weird getting on stages. And then it was, like, nerve-wracking opening rooms and stuff. But what I've realized is like, if you're not seen and heard, especially if you're not born into, like, a very wealthy family and have those type of connections, then you can't ask people to like buy from your business if you're not the greatest evangelist for your business. And so it's a process, but like you'll get it. So if you have more questions, just put them in
the show up. Yeah, I think like Shanae, one of the things, imposter syndrome. Oh my God, that's a good one. I think I'm just having it. Yeah, I've had that plenty of times. Am I good enough? I can tell this story, but who's going to listen? Like, if I would have listened to any of those things, or even not, my fear, I probably would not have gotten as far as I did. Be willing to show up, be willing to be consistent, even when you think nobody's watching. Somebody's watching.
Oh yeah,
somebody's paying attention.
100%. And I can tell you this: the most recent person who has become my mentor just happened because he's so cute. I was on Clubhouse, right? So he doesn't feel good.
Yeah.
I was on Clubhouse. I was on Clubhouse, and this person just heard me share and like give small business owners tips and stuff. But the power of LinkedIn too is the credibility. So a lot of people, if they see you on other platforms, whether it be Clubhouse or Instagram or whatever, they'll sometimes like verify how professional your visibility is and stuff by just going on LinkedIn and seeing if you're on there, right? Like seeing if you're active, whatever. And so this person did, and life-changing opportunity and connection. I could just say it like that. Just because I showed up and opened a Clubhouse room and I was consistent. And when you deal with very, very successful people, like 9-figure earners, they understand how hard consistency is. And they really respect, okay, this person really came from the bottom and this person is consistent. This person shows up for their community. Like when you're exceptional, even with the little that you have, you just naturally stand out, right? It's like when Oprah shared, you could go to Taco Bell. If someone's exceptional, puts all the stuff in the bag, right, gives you extra sauce, like all this stuff, it's going to stand out because they're doing an amazing job that most people don't even
yeah, that's happening to me now, Shanae.
Right?
And I can, yeah. So one of the things I can share with you guys really quickly is, so that Clubhouse group that I talked about, where I talked about my business started from there. So we started out with 5 students. This was in January, and now it started to grow every time we did it. Now, a lot of my social workers tend to get tutors, and they just either get the back negative end of a tutor, oh, they didn't work with me, or they just dropped off or whatever. And I was giving up valuable content of that usually they would have to pay hundreds of dollars for. Why is this lady doing this? And then they start seeing people pass. Well, let me go see what else she's about. And they keep seeing me show up, and they keep seeing me show up. And I'm constantly giving them support and building that trust. And I think that's vital when we have all these shiny things and we don't know if it's real or not. So really, putting yourself out there and being willing to be consistent. You showed up consistently, and look where you are now.
And I still show up because, I want to help as many people as possible. But thank you so much, Shar, for coming on. I know he needs you.
Oh no, he's fine. He just wanted food. My fiance got him food. He's good.
Yeah. So Nay, when you sign up, you'll get an email with the quiz. And then once you're done with that, don't rush it. Take your time on that. We'll get a notification internally, and then Courtney, the managing director, she will schedule the one-on-one with you at your earliest availability. So we won't be reaching out for the one-on-one until Tuesday, obviously, just because Monday is Labor Day, right? But in the meantime, take your time this weekend or take an hour today or whatever and do the quiz and really with each question, really take your time. The questions there are different than what you would imagine. But it really is strategically designed to let us know truthfully where you are in your current business and where you want to go, not just financially, but visibility wise, the impact that you're looking to make and stuff, the strengths that you have, what you're doing, what you're not doing, what you know, what you don't know, who you're connected to, who you're not connected to, because really it's not about what you know that's probably keeping you stuck. It's about what you don't know. It's usually not what you're doing. It's what you're not doing. And you could use the time that you have and the resources that you have today to gain access to information, people through the community and stuff, and, knowledge and money that you currently haven't made yet. So you could use what you have to gain access to what you don't have yet. And, Char's not the only one. You saw the video. There's so many people I could invite on here. I was actually looking to see if Kizzy's on here. She's a self-made millionaire, but the visibility that she's gained on LinkedIn has really taken her business and opportunities and stuff to the next level, and just there's people like her in the community, right? So people like Rob have reached out to people like Kizzy, and the one or two little bits of information that she has shared with Rob, let's say Shara, has changed the trajectory of his business even to the next level, So it's you don't just gain access to me, and I am the one teaching all of the coaching. So in all of the group sessions, I'm the one leading it. Courtney may be there and stuff, but it's directed by me, and then you'll get into breakout rooms. Explain that, Shara, how that's different than what a course is, because they've never experienced training like this before.
No. The first day that we were in there, we did a couple of exercises, and it was phenomenal, but kept us on our toes. It was very interesting, and having that interaction, I think, was very important. And also getting people to know each other. So again, the whole program was amazing. And Shana, anything that you have going on, I'm there. So as soon as it came up, I'm in it. I don't know all of it is, but I'm gonna hop in it. She really supports you. The community supports you. It's not just her. Everyone, you have access to her, but you also have access to the people in her community.
Yeah,
it's really supportive place.
It's not like most things where it's You can only contact me on Friday between 9 and 10. Like, no, I'm in the chat too. So, like I said, my mission, and we have members in over 42 countries, okay, at different levels. Like I said, some people are at an ultimate, you know, I won't say ultimate because we don't have a billionaire, but we do have a 9-figure, okay? And then we have many like multi-millionaires and millionaires, right? Everyone's at the different level, but everyone also has the mindset of like giving, right? So they want to help people rise to the next level. And everyone is accessible to each other and very open to connecting, especially like the creative entrepreneurs. They will invite you on their podcast, on their live show. That's just going to accelerate engagement and growth even more when you collaborate. Collaboration is key for you to dripping into other like networks and stuff. Look at, I could prove it. Look at Kanye West and Drake's album. When did they drop? 2 days ago?
Yeah.
They're going crazy. Why? Look at how many artists they collaborated with on each album. I think on Kanye West's album, he has, who does he have? He has, Jay-Z, like all these people. Drake has Jay-Z, Lil Baby, like he literally every other song on the album is a collab. And why does he do that, right? And Drake's really known for this. Especially he collabs with up and coming artists that are smaller than him because he wants to drip into their network, their fans, and just gain a bigger following, right? And so collaboration is huge, but if you're not really tapped into a community that's open to that, then you'll probably send DMs, reach out to people, reach out to influencers, and get ghosted because they don't respond to you and they don't trust you.
No, that networking, I can say, Jenna, you taught me is everything in terms of building those relationships. Is key to having a business or even trusting other people that you know are going to have your back. And like you said earlier, entrepreneurship can be a lonely process, but it doesn't have to be. If you can, I can, talk to Shanae or even Courtney or something like, oh my God, I'm hitting some milestones, but my family doesn't understand it. Or I'm going through these business like transitions, but they don't understand. If I can talk to people in my community.
My mom still doesn't understand what she's like. They makes videos like online. She goes live.
Yeah, it's like another. I can't even explain. It's another family. I can't wait to actually come down to Florida and meet you, Shanae, for the first time.
I know, that's going to be amazing. And it really is. Like, you have to experience it to really understand. But this is your opportunity to do so. Thank you so much, Shara. I know that it's a Saturday.
No, there's no problem.
All right.
Downtime.
All right.